So hey, how's it going, guys? So for this week's video, thought we'd do something a little bit simple, something I've been wanting to do for a really long time. It's gonna make sense to some of you. To a lot of you, it's not gonna make any sense at all, or it's just gonna be kind of, some of you are gonna think it's really cool, some of you probably not. Um, but what I've been wanting to do, I've been working on all of these, gathering all the materials to do this for quite a while. The most integral part of it took me quite a while to be able to find one that was in good enough shape to use. But let me give you a little bit of a quick backstory and then we'll get into it. So basically, for you guys that actually know me, I'm a big hot rodder guy. I like your older vehicles. I like some of the new stuff. I'm just more into your classic cars and hot rods. More specifically, like your old rat rods, some of your classic muscle cars, things like that. So one thing that I've always remembered, especially like going to car shows and just checking out old hot rods, even seeing pictures online or videos or what have you. There's always been one thing that's been associated with old rat rods, more specifically. And what it is basically, if you ever go to like an old car show or what have you, and you see an old rat rod, look around. You'll see that the whole premise of rat rods is to take whatever you have laying around, build it, and make it work. And one of the things that ended up becoming really popular was reservoir bottles for your coolant overflow. And what they would do is they would take old liquor bottles of various brands, what have you, and then they would use that as like their little coolant overflow bottle. Something else that became really popular was they would take the kegerators, the kegs from a keg, and they would turn those into like fuel tanks. And I've always been kind of intrigued by that type of stuff. Now, obviously, I don't have a rat rod. I don't have a hot rod. I have more modern cars. But one thing that's always made me kind of curious about something is the reservoir bottle, in the sense that people are using old liquor bottles and they'll use these as coolant overflows, which isn't, a hard thing to grasp. But what I've always wondered is how well does those bottles actually hold up to the different temperatures, going from hot to cold, and having basically a coolant setting in them forever and a year and what have you. So obviously we know it can be done because a lot of people do it, but the one thing you always see them on is you always see them on like rat rod show cars. You never really see them on cars that people necessarily daily drive or get a lot of miles put on them. So if you don't know how glass, we'll say glass bottles work in general, it's basically over time, from the temperature changes of being really, really hot and then going back down to really cold and then back to hot and then cold, then hot. Eventually what you do is you create fractures inside the glass and tiny little cracks, and over time it's eventually going to crack. But what I want to do is I've actually made one. And yes, I will be putting this on my car. I know that's kind of a contradiction because it's not a rat rod, it's not a hot rod, it's a 97 Corolla. But keeping with the theme of that, import car, import brand bottle, and I'll show this to you in just a second, just to kind of show you what I did and how I made it work or whatever, or how we set it up to hopefully make it work. And then we're going to put it on the car. And really the whole point of this is it's something kind of different that you don't ever see on a car like mine or a modern car, for one. No, this is not gonna stay. This is just something that I thought would be kind of cool to try to make, because I've never tried to make one, and for two, I thought it would be a little source of entertainment for you guys. And then thirdly, it answers a question that I've always been curious about: is, are people actually using these on cars that they actually drive, or are they just doing this on like show cars that, for lack of a better term, are trailer queens, like something you're gonna haul from car show to car show? Or is it something that they actually just, they drive it, it cracks, it leaks, they replace it type of thing, or what have you? I'm just curious of how long can a glass bottle hold up as a reservoir bottle. So with that being said, I'm gonna flip the camera around, show you how I made this work, or how I made it, and then we'll go outside and we'll actually stick it on the car, and we'll go from there. So sticking with the theme of an import car, I decided that, Japanese import car, might as well have a Japanese or Japanese bottle to go with it, or brand rather, because most old hot rods use a more they use a brand, JD brand. I won't say the name, I'll just give you the initials, you can figure it out from there. So it took me a while to actually find this bottle. This bottle is actually quite expensive, and apparently it's been signed by somebody of the company. I'm sure it's probably a CEO or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't even know what that actually says, but it's cool, so I left it. So this here is actually like a paper material, the way they made the sticker for it, or the label for it. So what I did is I took some laminating sheets, and I laminated the entire front half of the bottle. Basically from here all the way down to the bottom is laminated and fully wrapped around to the sides of it, just to help protect that sticker. So some of the little bubbles that you'll see through it, like right there, is actually from that lamination stuff. I'm not really good with laminating. It's the first thing I've ever tried to laminate. So yeah, there is a few lines in it. There's a few defects in the bottle. Like you can see, there's a paint defect there. There is, it's not a crack that runs up it, but it is like extra material. So we'll see how this works. And then so I laminated that, and then if I spin you around to the back, you can see the bottom and the back is actually cork material. I cut this out not very well, as you can see, and basically I'm using the cork as a vibration dampener, so that it doesn't vibrate a lot and cause it to actually break sooner than we want. To attach that, I used, I know it's going to be hard to pick up, that is actually gel double-sided tape on the inside of that. I figured that would be the best alternative for that. That way it gives it a little bit of thickness, help with a little bit of vibration. And then finally, on the top here, these are quarter inch by quarter inch barbed elbows that I picked up at a hardware store. They're temperature rated to 175 degrees. So ideally most temperatures won't get anywhere past 120. So we're gonna hope that this is actually gonna work. And basically what I did is, if you see here, there's a little bit of paint right there that dried on the outside. It's Tester's model paint, so it's not gonna affect anything, and it's on the outside, it's not on the inside. I took that, dabbed it in the paint. I just basically dabbed it, like, or stamped it on top of the cap, and then that allowed me areas, and I just basically pre-drilled up to the sizes that I need. You'll notice that one is actually lower than the other, and the reason I did that is so on my current setup there's only one line that runs down into the bottle, and then one is used for the overflow bottle. So that's how we have that set up. And then actually underneath the cap, if I can get this off one-handed, if I take this off one-handed here, there was a paper piece inside of there, that's gone now. And so what I did is I took it was really loose once I put it on there, and I took that piece of paper out. So what I did is I took an O-ring and I fit it all the way to the bottom of that portion there. That way when you actually screw it on, you see how it's kind of a little bit of a struggle for me. And then of course you just have to really reposition the cap, which I can play around with that a little bit. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we're basically ready to go into the car. The O-ring isn't necessary for leaks or anything. That was just to keep the cap tight so it didn't like kind of vibrate loose off of time. But yeah, so again, I know to some people this is going to be kind of dumb or whatever. I'm just doing this for entertainment purposes, honestly. I've never seen something like this done on a import vehicle, so I thought that would be kind of different. Also, I completely understand that this is not going to hold up. This is not going to last forever. It will, over time, due to temperature changes, it is going to in fact break, and I completely understand that. My solution for that is let's just see how long it'll last, and then if it ended up being something that you might want to do to your hot rod, but you want to know that you can be able to still drive your hot rod around, if you do it for parades, or if you use it for drag racing, or if you're in a pinch and you just need to be able to have a overflow bottle because maybe yours broke, this is a good alternative for you. So for this entire bottle build, plus or minus somewhere between, I think I'm about $20 plus or minus into this, because I forgot to mention the double-sided gel tape that's inside of there. But anyway, we're gonna go outside now, and we're gonna get the old bottle off, and we're gonna start trying to install the new bottle. So let me get everything I need together. We'll go out to the car and we'll get started. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start disconnecting this. So we're gonna start with the lid here. Take that off like that. One hose out of the way. See if we can get this one off without breaking it. That's two hoses. Get this little clamp out of the way here. Alright, there's our old cap there. So we'll put that back on there. And then for this to come off, it just simply pops up. Like so. Now, we just got to figure out how we can put this to where it's going to make the most sense and not look ridiculous. So like that, I think would be how it would have to set. So I think until we get a more permanent setup here, we want a little bit of a gap there. I'm just going to temporarily zip tie this on just to kind of hold it in place for me. Take our two reusable zip ties here. So we're just going to slide that over and down like that. Give ourselves a little bit of room there. Let's take this zip tie down as far as I can. Like so. I also want to move it over this way a little bit. We can tighten those up shortly. And then I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this. Let's see, we're going to need this on the longest one right here, like so. Push that up as high as we can get that. This will be on this side here. like that. And then finally on here like that. Use our little clamp, set that back up. Now we're going to go ahead and put that on there. It's going to be a little bit of a tight fit. Like so. Wait, we'll take this off for just a second just to get everything hunky-dory first. There we go. We'll go ahead and remove this one as well for now. I just want to test fit everything. Okay. Alright, so to make this work, what I did is I took the old bottle. You can see the fill line, and I just filled it up to that fill line. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill the actual bottle up. Well, that's just a little shy of being completely full. Alright, so now you can see we're basically on stall. I'm going to change these zip ties. I'm just using this as a prototype type of situation, but there it is. I know that's going to be backwards, but obviously, I mean, if you're looking at it, you can come over here and you can kind of see it. It still gives you the same premises. I am going to cut these zip ties. And of course I am going to change that from zip ties to something more secure. So that is actually quite secured that way. I did rough that up a little bit right there, trying to move the zip tie, make it look, I want to keep the label clean. That's me shaking the entire bracket. I'll show you back here. I mean, basically it's got a little play to it, but again, I don't think I'm going to keep the zip ties. I think I'm going to change it to something a little bit more sturdy, probably like some type of clamp with padding on the inside of it. But this at least give us a general idea. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go grab the keys, and we're going to start it and let it run for a little bit and just kind of see what happens. So I do just want to show right now, we did just start the car and it is on below cool. So we're going to let it kind of warm up and see what happens. Go out here, we'll see what it's doing. I see a little bit of bubbling in there. So we can see it's already actually pulling some over to the radiator. So that might be good, that might be bad, I don't know. We're going to find out. So we're going to let it rock for a little bit and see what happens. Alright, we've been letting it run for a little bit, and as you can see, it got pretty full pretty quick. So I think we're going to have to take some of the coolant out, which is fine, because I think as long as we get down to that bottom zip tie, or just above that name, or not the bottom zip tie, but this one here, just below the label, I think that'll be more than enough coolant in it. So I think we're going to take some of it out, but let's see where we're at on temperature. That bottle is getting full really quick. So we are actually all the way up to temperature. So like I said, I think what we're going to do now, I'm going to take some of the coolant out of that bottle to drain it down just a little bit, and then I think we're going to maybe take it for a test run and see what happens. Alright, so I went ahead and re-leveled it out. We're down to just at the bottom of the actual label here. About right there is where we're at on it. That gives about that much of that pipe or that tubing inside there to actually reach up to it. So I think we're going to go ahead and start it again, and I think we're going to take it for a quick ride and see what happens. So I just want to show you guys one more time, we are up to temperature. We are about to take off. We're just going to do a quick rip around the block, and we'll come back and see how everything has worked out. Alright guys, well, we just got back, did a few loops around the area, and like I said, it seems to be holding up just fine. At least for now, only time will tell. So yeah, again, we're not planning on leaving this forever. This is just a curiosity thing, entertainment, if you will. We just want to see if you could actually use this on a daily driven vehicle, so we'll probably leave it for a little bit just to see how it holds up, especially here lately because the temperatures have been getting like 90 degrees or more. But yeah, like I said, this is not a permanent thing for me. This is just for entertainment purposes and just sheer curiosity. It's kind of like a novelty thing. I don't think the idea was ever meant to be for like a permanent fix, but again, I don't know. That's why we're kind of doing this, just to kind of see. And plus, I've never seen something like this on a Japanese car. I've only seen it on old hot rods and rat rods. So just for fun, we'll give it a shot. We'll see how long it lasts, and we'll keep you updated. Other than that, that'll be it for this video. I appreciate you guys coming back week after week, time after time. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.